for what we do in Hawaii when we give you a flower lei, right? Thank you. Thank you so much.
So Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar just dropped out of the race. They're now endorsing Joe Biden. You don't seem to have the rally sizes of Bernie Sanders or the financial resources of a Mike Bloomberg. So how do you expect to stay in the race? And more importantly, how do you expect to beat Donald Trump?
We are up against some tough challenges given the almost total corporate media blackout and smear attempts that they've had on my campaign from day one. But what we're seeing everywhere we go is there are hundreds of people who are coming out hungry for the truth, hungry for strong leadership, and we're going to continue carrying our message out to voters so they have a real choice in this election. I'm the best candidate to beat Donald Trump because I have support from Democrats, Republicans, and Libertarians who want to stand together for our country and for our future.
Would you ever think about being a part of the Donald Trump administration?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Tulsi. It was lovely to meet you. I really appreciate you. This is Savanah Hernandez for Action 7 News. We are here at Tulsi Gabbard's rally in Austin, Texas, and I'm here with one of the attendees. Now, I've been asking a lot of folks today because we were talking about previously too how Amy Klobuchar dropped out today, so did Pete Buttigieg. They're now rallying behind Joe Biden. How do you think that Tulsi Gabbard is going to hold up in this presidential race, especially with how, I guess, competitive it's getting?
Well, the thing is, the polls sometimes can recognize Tulsi at being like at 1% or 2%, but sometimes the polls are flawed. So it just depends on how much support that candidate has. So the voter turnout, how much they're getting in donations, compared to like Biden, Warren, Bloomberg, all these other different candidates, they're being funded by super PACs, they're being funded by PACs, they're being funded by the corporate establishments, they're being funded by the mainstream media, while someone like Tulsi Gabbard and even Bernie Sanders are receiving donations from the people, from the grassroots campaign, and they're not getting money from these super PACs, from these PACs, and all this stuff. That's why I feel that when it comes to the corruption, going against the corruption, Tulsi and Bernie, both of them know how to fight the corruption because both of them are extremely consistent on their ideologies.
Well, regardless of where she's at, I'm going to support her all the way, regardless. In 2007, I supported Ron Paul, and in 2012, and they said the same thing about him, and how far he went, it didn't matter. We're going to support him to the end. He was our candidate, and I feel the same way about Tulsi.
I don't know, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to both you and me that the globalists are making a very concerted effort to steal the election from genuinely populistic candidates, and that's Bernie and Tulsi alike. So that's my take on it.
I think she's held off all this for this entire time, so I think she'll have support.
Do you think that she could compete with the likes of maybe a Bernie Sanders? He has a lot of popularity here. We saw his rally in Texas maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. He had about 10,000 people there. Compared to this event, it was a little bit smaller. So how do you think she could compete with Bernie?
Bernie's focusing on the economics, that's where he's distinguishing himself. But Tulsi is focused on foreign policy and criminal justice reform, and those are the issues that are driving the primary voters to their respective bases. And I do see a lot of overlap between both camps. So.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know it's a tough question.
Yeah, it is. Oh God, I don't think I have like a definitive answer on the top of my head in regards to that. I mean, outside of just doing what she's doing and just kind of continuing to stick out, it's really tough. Honestly, I'm one of those people, I guess I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist where I really think they're kind of trying to obviously push the establishment thing. I mean, it's clearly obvious they're kind of they're keeping the outsiders out.
Well, what do you think about the DNC's handling of this whole entire process? We saw what happened with the Iowa caucus, and then also what happened back in 2016 with Bernie's nomination. So, yeah, now that we're in 2020 and we're seeing how the DNC is treating Tulsi, and then again Bernie as well. I mean, how do you think the DNC is handling all of this?
I don't know. Can I cuss?
It's
a show. It's a complete show. It's the same thing. It's obvious. They're cheating out in the open, and we all know it. Or at least people who are paying attention and not watching MSNBC, NPC. Yes.
I mean, yeah. He got it.
Do you think that the DNC is potentially trying to steal the nomination away from Bernie Sanders again, or maybe even a Tulsi Gabbard?
Exactly. Not even 100%. I would say 101% to be exact, because if you look at the system that the DNC is running right now, they're running a process with these super delegates. They call them the SDEs. These super delegates, what they're going to eventually do is, even if, let's say, Bernie Sanders or Tulsi Gabbard wins the plurality, she or he, Bernie or Tulsi, wins the popular vote and all that, they won't care about that because they're just going to put this super delegate system where 10,000 Democratic voters is equal to one super delegate. And now these super delegates are run by the corporate establishment. These super delegates are paid to vote. So they get money from these establishment in Congress, and they get money. They get money from the establishment. They get money from all these corporate businesses. They get all this money from all these corrupt politicians in order to have them vote for, let's say, for example, Biden. They're promoting Biden so much because he's just going to continue the Obama-era policies, while someone like Bernie, someone like Tulsi are going to pursue a revolution that's going to completely change the system, and the DNC does not like that.
So what do you think about Hillary Clinton calling Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset?
I think it's just a political game. She's establishment. Hillary, she's the embodiment of what the establishment Democrats are. And Tulsi did a pretty bad beating to her friend Kamala Harris, which I believe that's what caused her to do that. But it was complete nonsense. Tulsi's a veteran. She served her country in Iraq, still serving in Congress. I believe she stands more for the Constitution than any other candidate. So the fact that Hillary would say something like that, it's absolutely ridiculous. And the establishment, they're just consolidating together right now to try to save themselves.
Hillary Clinton calling Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset.
I would say that Hillary Clinton is the Russian asset, not Tulsi Gabbard. Because first and foremost, how can we trust someone like Hillary Clinton when she ended up buying a lot of uranium and selling a lot of uranium, and she got millions and millions of dollars from Saudi Arabia when she was running for presidency? And not only that, but how can we trust someone to care for the people's lives when she didn't care about the people's lives in Benghazi? All she could say is, oh, what difference does it make? But the difference that it makes is that these civilians, these people that are in a different nation, they could have been saved if Hillary Clinton sent out the help. But she didn't care about it. She said, well, you're already in enemy territory. But that goes to show that we cannot trust someone like Hillary Clinton.
I mean, we could call Hillary Clinton an Islamic terrorist asset, considering that how much Clinton Foundation money has been received from like Qatar and Saudi Arabia and every crazy Islamic country. Also, I mean, let's look at the trafficking and look at everything else that Hillary Clinton is involved in as well. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't even know how to put it. It's crazy. What's crazy is that people actually believe that shit. People actually think that's true. It's like, I go on Facebook and it's just like, oh, we got to vote for Warren, we got to vote for this or for whoever's president. Then they talk about identity politics, and I'm like, yo, you have a woman of color who served in the military that's running a genuinely progressive campaign, and you don't want to, and you call her a Russian because the TV told you?
Totally uncalled for. I mean, I'm no fan of Hillary.
No, not at all?
No.
How come?
She's a corrupt old crone, represents everything wrong with the establishment.
She just needs to go into a dark corner and just disappear. I'm sick of her. I'm sick of the Clintons. They need to go.
I mean, I think Tulsi kind of summed it up, right, in her tweets to Hillary Clinton. She's a warmonger.
Wasn't that the best thing ever, though?
Oh, that was the best thing to wake up to.
Everyone was like, just so everyone's aware, Tulsi is not suicidal. I was laughing.
It was I woke up out of bed, looked at my phone, and that was the first thing I saw. And I was like, oh, okay, this is great.
You're like, so Tulsi for president 2020, yeah?
Yeah.
How do you think Tulsi Gabbard will be able to beat Donald Trump as a competitor?
First of all, again, it goes to her unifying message. She's able to bring together voters voters outside of the traditional Democrat base. There are libertarians, there are conservatives, there are moderates supporting her, and a lot of the anti-establishment fervor that supported Trump and Bernie. I think a lot of those will be able to rally behind Tulsi as well.
She's the only one that can take independent votes and Republican conservative votes away from Trump. There's no other Democrat that can do that. Bernie Sanders can't do that. He supports too much socialism. All the other candidates are establishment Democrats. Right now, Trump's approval rating's at almost an all-time high. So the only way that the Democrat Party has any chance of winning is they need a candidate that's going to be able to take conservative votes, libertarian votes, constitutional votes, and independent votes away from him, and she's the only one that can do that.
If people weren't so brainwashed by, what they saw on Facebook, all the processed food they ate, all the fluoride they were drinking, I think that Tulsi would probably do great and probably win. And I honestly even think that Bernie Sanders, even though it's unpopular and we may have disagree, and I don't even know how I feel about a lot of what Sanders represents, I just don't want to be governed by globalist pedophiles. You know what I mean? That's my take on the situation, Savanah. I think that Tulsi honestly has the best chance of beating Trump. And I think that Bernie even has has a chance as Trump just because you're going to get a big group of voters who are just going to go all out and vote for him.
She's willing to go against everyone that's corrupt. She's willing to go against a system that's flawed.
All right, y'all, we are at the end of the Tulsi Gabbard rally here in Austin, Texas. There was about 200 people in this room roughly, compared to Bernie Sanders' rally a couple weeks ago where about 10,000 people showed up. So not as much support for Tulsi. Also today, again, as I said in my interview, Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg dropped out of their race for president ahead of Super Tuesday, and they're both currently in Dallas right now, rallying behind Joe Biden. Of course, a lot of the attendees at this event said that the DNC is corrupt and they don't like the way that they're now handling Bernie and Tulsi. So we'll see what comes after tomorrow, Super Tuesday, and ahead of 2020. But folks, one thing's certain, no one has the support around them that Donald Trump does, and that was made clear tonight. Tulsi was a great candidate. She had a very unifying message, very inclusive, and her supporters were great. Probably some of the nicest that I've ever met, but this definitely was no Trump rally. This has been Savanah Hernandez for Action 7 News.
Since I haven't done my job today, quite frankly, which is fund this broadcast by telling you about InfoWarsStore.com, I just urge you, please just go to InfoWarsStore.com and just cover for me today, if you would. Just go buy a tube of Super Silver toothpaste for 50% off. I think it's like $10 right now. Folks, just please cover for me here. Please cover for me. Go to InfoWarsStore.com, get a tube of Super Silver toothpaste. I think it's $10, okay? You're gonna get toothpaste anyway. You're gonna need toothpaste anyway. And honestly, you're going to love the toothpaste. You're going to become a repeat customer. So just go to InfoWarsStore.com. Just spend $10 with us. You're gonna spend $10 on toothpaste at the store. Go to InfoWarsStore.com. Spend $10 on toothpaste with us. And I guarantee you, you're going to love Super Silver whitening toothpaste. And let me just say too, ever since I switched to first Super Blue and now Super Silver, all my gum problems are gone. Hardly ever bleed anymore. When I go to you know how they are at the dentist. They're like flossing you like they're trying to torture you or something. Hardly any bleeding anymore. Sorry to, get graphic if you don't like blood or whatever, but that's just the truth. And so I really think that's because of how powerful the ingredients are in the Super Blue and Super Silver toothpaste from InfoWarsStore.com. But folks, I'm telling you, the product is great, like on its merit alone. But just do me a favor, because I didn't barely plug today because I've just been outraged and just go to InfoWarsStore.com. And then while you're there, if you really want to get adventurous, the supplements are incredible. A lot of popular t-shirts. We've got a special right now, Vitamin Mineral Fusion, 40% off, back in stock, 40% off Ultra 12. If you just want to start your day, I do it every morning. I drink the Vitamin Mineral Fusion. First thing I do every morning. Boop, Vitamin Mineral Fusion. In fact, guys, do we still have Gut Fusion too at InfoWarsStore.com? I start every day. I make a drink of Vitamin Mineral Fusion. I chase it with all the InfoWars supplements. I take about 10 pills every morning. I think about 6 or 7 of them from InfoWarsStore.com. And then I do a little bowl of yogurt that I mix with the Gut Fusion. So the Gut Fusion may be sold out. So I don't know, folks. Again, the products are popular, so sometimes they sell out. But the Vitamin Mineral Fusion is back in stock. And really it's the kind of thing, too, where if you're a parent, there's all these multivitamins out there. Some of them are good. Some of them are just fillers. Great thing for your children. Start them off every day with the Vitamin Mineral Fusion. They'll probably get addicted to it because it tastes so good. Not in a bad way. They'll be expecting it every morning. They'll be excited to get their drink every morning. And it's just a great way to make sure they're getting all the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that they just don't get in the average diet. And so that's another great thing at InfoWarsStore.com.